Jane Evans, the Lasting Life Change Coach, with a few simple ways to ground yourself. Now, if you think of your body, so this bit down here, as being a bit like air conditioning. So when your air conditioning's running, you don't really notice it. Once you switch it on, you're feeling the lovely cool breeze, you really don't notice it until maybe you get a bit too cold, and then you might turn it down a bit, or you get a bit too hot, so you make it colder for yourself. Then you notice it. Occasionally you might notice the sound that it makes, but mostly once it's on, you just get about your business. And that's how we tend to treat this, our wonderful, amazing bodies, especially the stuff that runs in the background. So our heart rate, our breathing, our digestive system, are just actually everything that's just keeping us alive. Our temperature control as well, which is like our own aircon and heating system all in one fabulous body. So a lot of the time it just runs in the background, and like the aircon, we don't notice it until something goes wrong. And then we might suddenly feel uncomfortable. Oh, my heart is just racing so fast, or oh, I'm finding it difficult to get some breath, or God, I'm boiling hot, or I'm freezing cold. Then we might suddenly really notice it. And that's usually, much like if the aircon starts making some really clunky noises, is the first indication that something is out of balance in your body. So if you keep ignoring it, it will get to the point where, much like the aircon, if you kept ignoring it, the noise will get louder. So the pain or the discomfort or whatever it is will get louder and louder and louder until something quite dramatic happens. So we might end up with a panic attack or an asthma attack, or we might end up with a breathing problem, a lung problem. We might end up with really bad pains around our heart. We might get so hot that we end up feeling really dizzy and sick. So you get my point. Ignore the signals your body are sending you, and in the end, it will send something much more dramatic. And then if we carry on doing this for years and years and years, it will send something that will literally cut you off at the knees. So what can we do in our daily lives that just bring some calmness to the body, balance the body systems out a bit? Because if we're not doing that, then we always risk this major breakdown at some point. Now, many of the clients I work with, I give them tips, I give them insights, I urge them to do Qigong and or yoga and go for a walk, and they tell me, but I don't have time, I have no time in my schedule. And it's, it's fair enough. Life is very busy. So I'm going to share with you 3 really, really simple things that I defy anybody not to have time to do. If you go to the bathroom and once a day you sit on the toilet, then you have time. In your bed for 1 millisecond before you go to sleep, you have time. It's about prioritizing and not waiting until your body starts really screaming at you. So number 1 thing you can do, and this is really simple, and you can do it with your hand behind your back. I mean, I'm holding mine up so you can see it, but you could have your hand anywhere, just hanging down in front of you and be doing this. And it's known as the Japanese hand technique. Is just holding each one of your fingers and your thumb in turn, taking a breath. It helps if you half close or close your eyes, but depending on how that feels for you. But that allows you to actually concentrate on yourself and your breathing. And breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And if you can find the time to do 2 breaths on each finger, fantastic. But 1 is better than none. And then moving on to the next one, and the next one, and then swapping hands and slowly going through the others. And as I say, you can do that. You could be talking to somebody, and if you notice yourself feeling suddenly really anxious and you're getting very hot and sweaty and panicky, you can just have your hands behind your back like I've got and be doing it there. And that just connects you back with your body, your breath, and it's very down regulating. Another thing you can do which is really calming. And sometimes you see people doing it, but you can do it in a slow and intentional way. Is just running your fingers all the way scalp to the base of your skull, and then maybe flick some of that energy out that's not very healthy. Scalp all the way through to your skull. Maybe a big sigh at the end of it, and one more time. Great if you can breathe as well. Breathe in. And then when you get to the base of your skull, flick it all out. So again, super simple, very, very calming. And the last thing I'm going to show you is just opening up this part of your body. This part of your body tends to get very tight and very constricted as the day goes on. If we're driving a car, or we're on a computer, or we're on a phone a lot, however we're leaning over a desk, whatever it is, then this tightens this part of the body, which actually sends a signal to the brain that we're in a certain level of danger, because this is the kind of protective shape that we make when we're trying to survive in a dangerous situation. So if we are accidentally creating that through just daily tasks, then our body and our brain all the time feel that they're under some level of threat. So just taking a moment, and be careful of necks and backs obviously when you're doing this, but so do everything really slowly, and just opening up the chest, and then gently coming forward, and just check in with your body so that you go as far as is comfortable. So for you that might be far enough, the further you can get comfortably the better. Breathing in and breathing out again. And doing that, 3 or 4 times. Again, it brings the lovely breathing in, so we're trying to breathe down into the belly. It reminds your brain that all of this is available to it. And through doing this, it just brings a whole settling to that background body system that's running like crazy, trying to keep you alive. But, if you are foot flat to the floor all the time, then you're asking your body to just do far too much. It's in fight flight mode all the time, and it's doing its best to keep going. But much like the aircon, if you were running it flat out every single day of your life, eventually bits will fall off. So just choose one of these, do it as often as you can, and maybe even set a timer on your phone so that you really get in the habit of this and notice the difference that it makes in your life. Take care.